Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls TV. I'm your host, Mike B, and here we are again with a review of a game. Who would have thought it? So we're going to be looking today at Verdurn Gardens from City of Games, designer Frank West. In your face, Rodney Smith. So, yes, City of Games, Verdurn Gardens, City of Kings they released, probably now getting on for a year, maybe 2 years ago. Cracking game, and I lost my proverbial shit over it. Like World of Warcraft, the board game, kind of essentially as I came at it from. It's a big sort of puzzle to resolve, like a questing game. You're leveling up your heroes, you're doing stuff. What I found was the richly built world, the world building that went on in that game just blew me away. And the art design, fantastic. Just the first time out of the gate, absolutely nailed it. Loved the game, loved what it was doing, loved the art design, loved the whole aesthetic of the thing. So here we find ourselves with a small box follow-up. This is the next game that's popped out. There have subsequently been Isle of Cats that I've not seen or looked at or played, which went to Kickstarter this year. But anyway, before that was Verdurn Gardens came out, which was like a complete change of direction, actually, really, because City of Kings is a massive box full of content, huge thing, and then suddenly Frank sort of springs this tiny little box on us. Verdurn Gardens looks very cutesy. The graphic design on it, the box cover, everything you look at kind of makes you go, duh. Isn't it a cutesy looking thing? And I was taken, it tricked me. It pulled a fast one on me because I was the same. I looked at it and I was like, wow, that looks kind of cutesy. Nice. Yeah, it looks safe. So I finally got around to playing it, and I played it with the kids because I thought, hey, this looks like a cutesy little tile laying game. They're going to love that. And then I played with some of the game groups, and it became abundantly clear that front box cover is deceiving you. What you have inside here is quite the brain burner of a game. So let's go back. Let's just run you through kind of how the game works, what it's about. So it's a tile laying game as such. You've got cards that you're pulling locations and things. So you're a gardener in this Verdurn garden, and you are set to do some cool stuff in the garden. You're going to either concentrate or you're looking to build up either more flowers or water features or animals, bring them into your garden, make them flourish and thing. And you do that by placing these tiles. So how it works at the start of the game is we end up with a placement of 2 rows of tiles, depending on how many players, but essentially for a 2-player game you get 4 tiles. You get 2 tiles and then 1 per every player. So you get them across the board there. There's 2 rows of them. Aside those cards, you're also going to get lesson plans, lesson cards. So what these are, they're cards that stipulate what the tile icon it has to have on it when you place it. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then aside from them, you get achievement goals. So you'll get 3 of those out. I think it's a green, a blue, and a red. I think, yes. Green, a blue, and a brown. Green, a blue, and brown. The achievement cards. What they are, they're randomised. You're only going to get 3 of them out at the end of the game. And they are to do with what extra bonus points you can score during the game by doing the things that those plans icons show. They can be anything by connecting a large amount of territory together, or little groups of different colour bits of territory, something like that. It's going to be related to that, and the first person to hit it and ding it, you claim it straight away by putting one of your cutesy little meeple characters on it to say, I got there first. Essentially, we're going to play over 10 rounds of placing these tiles every turn. Now, so at the start of the game, what you're going to do is you've got these 2 rows of pathway cards. In player order, or someone's going to claim one of these pathway cards. We're placing one of their meeples on it, and only one person can claim one of these, and then everyone else is also going to claim one of them. Then the game begins. Whoever's placed their meeple the furthest to the left will pick up that card. They claim it, and then what you need to do is look at the lesson card, and that will stipulate what cards you can play. Now, they might be related to icons, so they might show 1 or 2 icons. And at the very top of the pathway cards, you'll see there is symbols, a red one, a blue one, green. They relate 2D symbols on these cards. There is also some honor cards which really mess up your day, which show double cards. They show overlapped cards, or they maybe rotate them. So some of them force you to play 2 cards at the same time with the cards overlapping, either vertically or horizontally, or even some of them force you into actually flipping the cards upside down. It's the only time you can turn cards. Normally you can't turn them, you can't manipulate them in any way. They go down flat with the icons pointing at the top. So that's that. So everyone places their card down, they place their first card down there, and that's their starting off point. Every subsequent card you play in the next preceding rounds has to overlap somewhere on the far right hand side of the card you've placed. And what you're looking to do is connect up these areas. So you've got the greens or the blues or the browns. The yellows are sand, doesn't score any points. Every area you connect up of one of these colours, which has at least 3 of these critters or flowers or icons in there, you'll see them on there, will be scoreable at the end of the game. Some of the achievements are forcing you into claiming more of those areas or more in there, so they might want 5 of them in there, whatever. And you can only, this tile laying specifics are, you can only lay them as on the far right hand side, and you can only lay them top to bottom. They have to be a 5-row height, so they can never go too far up or down. You have to kind of stay in this channel of where you've placed your things. As you start placing stuff down, you're kind of locking yourself into a point of the route that you're going to go down to do it, which is all kind of sounds fairly straightforward and simplistic, and to a point it kind of is. There's a few other bonus things. There's some tiles with bonus points on them, so they might have big 7 on them, if you can include them into your motif, your garden as you build them, and they're into that coloured area, you'll score them. And there's also some of them where they've got these sacred objects on them, which essentially you'll see the icon on there. They're worth 5 points each. When you put them down, you'll collect one of the sacred objects, sort of chits, little wooden doodads, but you don't place it yet. You place it at the end of the game on every one of those that is still left uncovered, because there is possibility that you may have to cover them up depending what the game forces you to do. So there's no interplay between characters. It is players, it's kind of solo-ish. It is that sort of thing. There's no interaction, but there's probably just as well, because what you'll find with the game is you'll play like the first couple of tiles and you'll be like, this is quite nice, like serene, it's quite lovely and all that, and then one of these special lesson plans might come up forcing you to rotate a card, or just you'll get to like 2 or 3 things down and you won't have the cards because you're looking ahead. You're going, okay, I need to claim one of them, and someone might claim one you want, and you're in your hand, you're like, okay, I can make this work, I can connect that to there, and then you can't, or you're covering up vital scoring points, you're losing your tracks, and it's about round 3 or 4 where you have an embolism. That's all I can say. It's a good burn, but it's a burn nevertheless, and it is then you kind of suddenly become aware, man, this game is, whoa, it's quite a lot going on. I mean, I thought this was going to be an entry level, like a real gateway game, and to a point it could be, but it's a hell of a puzzle, depending on how the lesson plans, what cards you get come out. Man, this makes your head hurt. I mean, I play things like King Domino, which in comparison feels absolutely like a light throwaway piece of fluff, completely in comparison to this. Wow, yeah, it's not what I expected. It totally sideways glanced me, bang, took me by surprise, absolutely sucker punched me. Did not see this game coming. But it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So, I mean, positives, what can we say? I mean, the component quantity is really top drawer. The meeples are screen printed, they're really nice. All the little bits are just kind of cool looking. The graphic design on the cards, as expected, is, you know, it's does the job. It's perfect. It's very functional, but it looks nice. It looks attractive on the board, and all the icons and iconography, although initially when you first read the rules and when you first look at it, is a little bit like brain boggling. Pretty much after about 2 or 3 rounds, you get it. The achievements, they're out, they don't change during the entire game, so once you've kind of explained what each one of those does to everyone who's playing, that's locked in. And the lesson plan cards, there's not much to them, only those special ones I mentioned are the ones that kind of throw you for a little thing. But yeah, other than that, it's all pretty straightforward stuff, and once you're playing, it's a breeze. But wow, yeah, this is a head scratcher. So yeah, if you're in the market and looking for stuff if you like maybe King Domino or those tile games, any of that sort of Tetris-ish type stuff, then, and I think Isle of Cats kind of took this and ran with it actually, really, with what that was doing. But yeah, then this is going to really challenge you. It's a real brain workout. So yeah, it's a good challenge, and there's a bunch of decks of cards in there, and you're going to play that through quite a few times. So combinations and what can come up is pretty kind of, though there's not much there, it's enough to think you've got lots of combinations, and it can get really. See, there I go back on myself. So I said there was no player interaction, but actually there is player interaction. What am I saying? Because where you place your meeples to claim those tiles is vitally important. Obviously, as I said, the further left when you place it is the first person who's going to go first. So you're going to pick up there and you're going to be a place. And it also means that you're going to be having first dibs on the next row of cards. So whilst it's a small thing, linked with what the game is doing and what you're doing, actually that's a huge thing. It's a huge tactical draw for you. It's a huge thing, and you can screw over people by just grabbing the things. Whereas in King Domino makes me think actually it's a very similar part of the game that does a very similar thing where you're kind of picking late in the run and you just get yourself dropped down in there. That hurts a little bit, but in this game, it could be a deal breaker, especially combined with a really, really monstrous lesson plan. Then you're in a world of hurt, if I'm honest with you. Wow, yeah. So, yeah, Verdurn Gardens. It's a cracker. I regret not getting to this soon enough. It's been sat on my review pile for a few weeks now, maybe even a month or so. I've been busy. But I finally kind of dug it out and I played a couple of games of it, and I kind of initially was like, ooh, and then I played some more games of it and I was like, ooh, and then I played a few more games of it and I was like, Jesus wept. So yeah, it is a brain burner. It's a good one. It's a real good brain burner, but it's a brain burner. And it's yes, deservedly should be probably shouted about a lot more. I think probably what's detracted it is the box design. It looks like a cutesy little game. It ain't that. This is like a Muppet with a machine gun. It's like, whoa, it means business. So, yeah. So, Frank's obviously working on more stuff. Isle of Cats, I'm really interested in looking and seeing what that does now. At some point, we'll catch up with him, and we'll play that at some point and have a go at that, because I really dig what he does. I'm looking forward, and he has recently posted that there is more coming for the City of Kings, and more specifically in line with what that did, and so his latest project is kind of something like that, which has already got me interested because I adored that game. So yeah, there you go. Verdurn Gardens, tile line puzzly game, looks like a lighter entry level. It is something you could play with people who aren't necessarily board gamers. They might get a bit of a Sudoku hit off of it, but be warned, it's not by any means kind of like a casual sort of, I'm just going to play this a couple of times and that be done. Wow, yeah, fifth turn in, I guarantee it, you'll be having spasms. Good spasms, but you'll be having spasms. So yes, Verdurn Gardens can highly recommend it. I'm giving it thumbs up. Why am I doing that? Jesus wept. No, it comes really highly recommended. Really good stuff. You know, it's a good thing. If you look in the market for that sort of stuff, then I can't recommend it highly enough. Verdurn Gardens for City of Games. I will put links at the bottom of the video or on the comments or somewhere thing there. Anyway, I've been rambling. I might be, this was Who Dares Worlds TV. This was a review of Verdurn Gardens. Don't forget to like us, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share us, and stuff of that ilk. We'll be back soon with a raft of other wonderful reviewy bits that we've got to get done. Thank you for tuning in, and have fun gardening.
Bye.